chomping on a burger or whatever. Sorcerer is now playing all over the world somewhere, and with many more screenings to come, and even a release, a real release. I don't go all over the world and talk to people in the theaters there. I went to Venice and I came here, and that's about it. I know I had a screening at Cinefamily in LA because they were responsible for telling me that the two studios who made the film claimed they no longer owned the rights. So I had to sue them to find out who in fact did own the rights. And we found out, and I was able to get it out of Cinematic Purgatory. And so this is a brand new, spotless print. It's the best print ever made of this picture. And I remixed the soundtrack so that it's fuller than it ever could have been, because originally, when we made the film, the track was released on optical track, as most of you know, and that didn't have a lot of range. And now it's all a digital track, so it's clean, and there are details in it that I didn't even remember putting in. We haven't changed anything. We haven't added anything to the track, or we just brought out details that were there, some of which were buried by the old process. But we haven't added or taken out a shot. This is the way I made the film in 1976. And that was after, about 4 years after The Exorcist. And I didn't know what I wanted to do next. I probably could have shot my nephew's bar mitzvah, and the studios would have made them. Because The French Connection and The Exorcist, as you know, had enormous success. I was going to make a little low-budget film about the Devil's Triangle, off the coast of Bermuda, where all the planes were getting lost or reported lost for so many years. And I decided, after a conversation I had with Wally Green, who worked with me in documentaries many years before, and who had written The Wild Bunch, the Sam Peckinpah film. And you all know who Sam Peckinpah was, right? If you don't, get the hell out of here. But you can be honest, right? But so we talked about making a film that was about the mystery of fate, not faith. I had just finished a film about the mystery of faith, and I didn't want to do another film that dealt with that subject or the supernatural, and I didn't want to do another cop film. I thought I did about as good as I could with The French Connection and The Exorcist. And so we started to talk about the films that had impressed us a great deal. And the film that came up more than any other was The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. And this film is influenced more by The Treasure of the Sierra Madre than by the great H.G. Clouseau film, Wages of Fear. Although I decided to maintain the kind of spine of the Wages of Fear. 4 guys, strangers, enemies, who hate one another, but have to cooperate or blow up together. And that seemed to me like a metaphor for the world situation, then and now. And so we decided to do a film using the basic storyline, but with entirely different characters and incidents from the Georges Arnaud novel and the H.G. Clouseau film, The Wages of Fear. But the vibe, the texture of the film, was going to be much more like The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. At that time, my strongest influences were The Treasure of the Sierra Madre as a film, and Miles Davis and Frank Sinatra and Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who wrote 100 Years of Solitude. And this film owes a great deal to the novel 100 Years of Solitude as well, which, as I'm sure most of you know, introduced the concept of magic realism. And from time to time, well, it didn't actually introduce the concept, it took it farther than any other novel had. I think the first magic realism book was by a Mexican author named Juan Rulfo, Pedro Páramo. I think that's the first known novel to use the style of magic realism. And I had that in mind throughout the making of this film. On the other hand, it was intended to be very realistic. I didn't want to do a film with superheroes. In fact, if anything, these guys are super villains. But I've always believed that there's good and bad in all of us, in every single one of us. And so Wally Green and I set out to test that theory by making the four leads in this picture not heroic men at all. Quite the opposite. Is there anything you wanted to ask me before?
No. I figure we'll be back at the end of the movie for a Q&A.
Right after I have a Cuban sandwich, and a glass of rich, hot, steaming, delicious, flavorful black coffee, I'll come back, and if any of you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer about this or any other of my films. It's really a pleasure to be here. I thank you, Tim, especially the audience. Wherever I've been, I think, Harry, do you remember the last time I was here? How long ago?
You spoke from the roof of the Paramount Theater for Killer Joe, but you weren't actually here because you were in Venice at the time. And then before that, I think it was...
Many years ago.
I think it was the Hunted.
Yeah, that's at least 10 years.
Yeah.
So you picked up a little more traffic than I remember. But it's such a great city. It's so wonderful to be here and with this audience. I've always kept a memory of when it was at a different theater, it was at the one downtown, but it was the same vibe. And I'm very happy to be here again.
That was the French Connection screening.
Was that and
That was the French
Tarantino was in the audience,
yeah.
I remember, and I brought him up. He needed a break, you know, because he hadn't been seen too much. And I've offered to debate him at the Alamo Drafthouse, as one of them, about, you know, about digital versus 35 millimeter.
I'm going to take you up on that.
Well, he hasn't yet. I've thrown the gauntlet down. But, you know, if that day ever comes up, it'll be at an Alamo Drafthouse. Thanks a lot for showing up.